Orlando Magic today. Can the Bulls get another dub and close the gap between the Orlando Magic, which sits slightly above them, and one seat above them in the Eastern Conference standings? We're going to talk about it all and more. Have some fun right after this.
You are now tuned in to Chicago Bulls Central, your number one place for all Chicago Bulls news and content.
What's going on, Bulls fans? Welcome to another episode of Chicago Bulls Central, your number one spot for everything Chicago Bulls related. I'm the host, Haize, but more importantly, you guys can follow the channel at Bulls Central Pod on every social media platform we happen to be on. With that being said, let's go ahead and get into this content today. Oh, man, listen. Chicago Bulls take on the Orlando Magic today. Let's see if the Bulls can get it done. This is a team that the offense isn't great at all, right? Actually, they have it towards the bottom of the league offense. But the thing that has pushed them to have the record that they do have is being a solid defensive team. And so this is going to be one of those games that comes down to who makes the most defensive plays and defensive stops in the game. And so can that be the Chicago Bulls? Can they step up enough defensively? We'll end up seeing. The Orlando Magic have a lot of length on that team, which can cause fits defensively. They also are a team that definitely makes second half adjustments. We know how Billy Donovan historically is done with that. We've seen him be better at it at times. And this is definitely going to be one of those games where we need Billy Donovan to be able to make those adjustments in the second half of the game. And if he doesn't, it's going to be a long night for the Chicago Bulls. So let's hope that the Bulls can stand up like we need them to do and perform well. On the offensive side of the ball, it's going to be the same that we always do. We're going to need a lot of Kobe White in this game. That point guard matchup with him and Markelle Fultz is going to be interesting to see. Outside of just the depth that the Magic have at that guard position as well overall, it's a team that's going to throw a lot of different looks guard-wise between Fultz, Suggs, Cole Anthony, Gary Harris. You're going to throw a lot of different looks defensively with this game. Now, we also know a player that has killed us several times before, Franz Wagner. And this is going to be an interesting matchup to see how they guard Franz Wagner. Is this going to be one of those games where, they kind of just let Franz go off, kind of stop everything around him? Or are they going to throw a mix of like Alex Caruso, Ayo Dosunmu at Franz Wagner? We'll see with that one. The power forward matchup is going to be really good as well. Torrey Craig, how he's going to perform in this game. This is, if they start DeMar DeRozan at the power forward with him and Alex Caruso being the 3 and the 4, that's going to be an interesting thing as well. So I don't know if this is one of those games where we may see Andre Drummond start for the Bulls. We may see him still play a lot for the Bulls as well. We'll end up seeing what happens with that. So, this is a big game for the Chicago Bulls. We'll see what happens, man. The Bulls have the ability to play with anyone. We know that. It's just will they on any given night. You don't want to come out flat against a young team like the Orlando Magic that do like to get out and run when they force turnovers because they can run the Bulls out the gym. And so, half court sets, things like that, going to be really important in this game. And we'll see what the Bulls can bring, man. I have some faith with the Bulls playing really good here as of late for the most part. They're on a 2-game winning streak on top of all of that. Can the Bulls play well in this game? Let's see. What's up, son? Okay, come here. But all right. But yeah, that's what it comes down to. We'll see if this team can play the way that we know that they can play before. How Kobe, DeMar doing the offensive side of the ball. Who's going to step up with them as well offensively and help perform? What's up, Buddha?
You said I can't come down here.
Okay, so what are you looking for? You got honey mustard on your face, but what's up? Other side. What's up?
Hello.
What's up? What do you need?
You said ice cream.
You want some ice cream? Go ahead.
Thanks.
So we'll see how the Bulls perform in this game, and who steps up offensively to help DeMar DeRozan and Kobe White in this game. Is it Alex Caruso? Is it a combination of everyone? Is this one of those games where like Ayo Dosunmu and Alex Caruso have big offensive nights as well with getting out in transition? Going to be an important part to this game as well for the Bulls, and we'll see what they have the capability of doing, man. I'm feeling pretty good coming into this game. Now, take that for what you will. I was feeling pretty bad about the last game, and the Bulls end up coming back and winning the last 2 games. So we'll see if that even means anything. That I have some level of confidence in this team coming into this game. And I don't say that to say like the Orlando Magic are slouches at all. They're not by any stretch of the imagination. This is a tough team that's going to perform and try to kill the Bulls. And Wendell Carter's had put up big performance against the Bulls as well. And so to see how Drum and Vooch do against that, going to be interesting to see how it all plays out in the long run. But let's go ahead and get into some of your guys' comments and see how you guys are feeling about this game. Anthony Vargas says, let's hope for a win again tonight. What do you think, C Red? I mean, you always want to hope for a win, right? And you know how this team needs to perform when they want to get wins, and that's against any team. That's even against some of the weaker competition, because we've seen when the Bulls don't lock in that any game could be tough for the Bulls. So, I don't care about this is a team that's better than the Bulls and has been for the most part of the season, but you don't want to come in here and be lackadaisical, because then that's when that game can definitely get away from you. Shay says, the last two games that we played against this team were both game winners, and they were caused by a lot of turnovers. If we take care of the ball, we'll be fine. Well, this is also a different team, right? This is a different team. Keep in mind, this team was like, top 3 in the East for like the first 2 months of the season, and they've fallen rightfully so down, but we'll see what happens to it. We got Rob in the building, one of my favorite users around here. Yeah, got to limit the turnovers. The Magic are very good defensively, extremely good. If you give them lanes defensively, it's going to turn ugly real quick. Yeah, jump from 3 games back to 2. That's a fact. This can cause you to jump up in the standings. When you play a team that's against you in the standings, the win almost counts as a double win, because you're gaining a win as they're gaining a loss, and it closes that gap a little bit more. I told you guys, in February, that's when I personally start looking at the standings a little bit more. So that's when it gets real for me. I know, like in December and January, I don't really care about the standings, but basically post All-Star break is when those standings really start mattering, and each game matters a little bit more. So the Bulls right now have a 2-game cushion over the cushion over the Atlanta Hawks, which sit at the number 10 seed, and then we're 3 games behind the Orlando Magic, which sit at the 8 seed. We're also 3 games behind the 7 seed as well, and 4.5 games behind the Indiana Pacers for that. 3.5 games behind the Indiana Pacers for that 6 seed. Now, some of those teams made trades. The Pacers, the Miami Heat have made trades. So we'll see over time how that ends up working out for those teams. And hopefully the Bulls, this almost 60% win percentage ends up being and holding true for this team. So we'll see. Let's see. Go Bulls. See Red. If you can haul in my voice, Haize. If you can y'all in my voice, y'all. I don't know how to y'all in your voice. I wish I did. I wish I did. I know Marcus Morris is not the player that he once was, but he's still a good defender, gives us a lot of size, and not to mention all we need him to do is shoot wide open threes when he's on offense. I'd rather have Danilo Gallinari to just shoot wide open threes personally, but the things that you say about Marcus Morris are true. Rob says, keep up the great content, Haize. Let's get that W tonight. I don't care how they win, just win. Hey, I can get right with you on that one. Like, at this point, a win is a win. Let's just get these wins, right? I still want the Bulls to go after Laurie for him to take over Carter's minutes, because he is pretty good and would help the bench a lot. So not just Io the whole time. I'm good on BBL Kyle Lowry. You can keep BBL Kyle Lowry, the BBL king, off my team. I'm not worried about BBL Kyle Lowry. He can go. We're good on that. Really have to come in dread playing the Magic. Didn't think I'd be saying that a few years ago. I mean, the Magic have a nice young team. They really do. Omar's in the building, says, what's good, Haize? What's going on, Omar? Daniel Barry's in the building, says, hey, what's going on, Daniel? Any update on P. Will and his bone marrow bubble? You won't hear. They said 2 weeks. He won't be evaluated for 2 weeks. That was like a week ago. So basically, by them saying 2 weeks, maybe right before the All-Star break, we may hear something, but it's possible we may not hear anything to after the All-Star break, Angel. You were on point with yesterday's episode. I thank you for that, Dario. I really do, man. I just listen. There's times, and the thing that I've had to learn how to balance, not to make this about me, it's about the content, but one thing that I've had to learn how to balance the best over my time in doing the show is the balance between being a fan and presenting a good show for everybody to watch, right? And so there are times where I have these fan rants, and it's really just me, the fan me, just being somebody who's followed this team for my whole entire life. There are times where that takes over, and I have to allow myself to let that happen sometimes, because that's just me, and I have to be genuine in what I'm talking about. I wouldn't be able to do this show as frequently and as often as what I do if I wasn't able to just be me. And sometimes that includes just ranting. And yesterday was me working through my thoughts, working through my feelings live on the air. and well, not live because it was pre-recorded. And I hope that it hit a lot of people. I hope that, they understood my message as well. I just saw some comments that kind of took bits and pieces of it. I didn't really comprehend all of it, but that's the thing that I've had to learn how to balance as a content creator is presenting good content and then still being not being myself. I'm always myself, but allowing myself to have those moments where I just fan out. And sometimes it's going to be good, sometimes it's going to be bad. And so, it is what it is there. You got to take the good with the bad, man. What's good, Haize? Hope you and the family are well. How you feeling about today's game? I'm feeling pretty good about it, surprisingly. I don't have like one reason why I can say why I feel so good coming into this game, but I really do. When does the game start? Hey, whoa, come on, Sam. I'm gonna ignore you if you start talking that weird shit, bro. You got to chill out on that. I know that's been your thing to be funny, but you got to chill out on that, bro. Any thoughts on bringing Thagic back? Won't be the most productive on the court, but we saw from his first time here, he does take pride in helping the younger players. Well, the thing is, if we're going to sign a buyout candidate, I want it to be somebody who's actually going to help the team on the court. Now, Thagic, for what he's able to do, the mentorship, all of that is great. Do not get me wrong. But I think at some point you have to prioritize the what is coming to the basketball court. And we need shooting. We need shooting bad. So if we're making one buyout signing, to me, I'd much rather it be somebody who's going to be able to bring something on the court that we really do need. So it's a problem when Kenny for real rants on the Bulls for doing nothing before the trade deadline. I've never heard Kenny swear on a video until that rant. LOL, Bulls fans deserve better. I mean, and that, like I said in my video, it's that it's not just about them just not doing something at the trade deadline, right? It's about a culmination of events and lack of action. And then the boiling point is that trade deadline. So anybody who's telling you, I'm just pissed off just because they didn't make a trade, to me that it's a little disingenuous. And I'm not saying that about Kenny because we know Kenny's a real Bulls fan. But to me, it's a little bit disingenuous because you have to understand what the value of it was and kind of where the Bulls were. They don't want to trade Alex Caruso because they do still plan on trying to keep winning. This was a team that was going for a rebuild. And that's what I think a lot of us fans do. And I'm putting us all together in this one because I don't want to create any separation, right? Where I'm trying to say you people versus us people. It's fans, Bulls fans in general. The thing that I think we do sometimes is that we project what we want to see on the team and then think that that's how the front office should operate. Certain fans want the Bulls to take deals as if it's a rebuild deal. You're not going to send off a player that you like that's contributing to winning if you plan on still winning. So people were just like, well, we just should have traded Alex Caruso to get these picks back. That's the mindset of a rebuilding team. And whether you agree or disagree with it, AK's mindset right now isn't rebuilding. So it's not just about this trade deadline. It's about that culmination of events that leads to that place and the frustration of lack of action. Like I said in my video, one of the things that was so upsetting to me wasn't just this past trade deadline. It was that last year in the season-ending press conference, AK set up there smugly and said, "Oh, I think for the fans that are disappointed right now, that they're going to be surprised by what we do in the offseason. We signed Torrey Craig and Javon Carter. Like, no disrespect to the players, right? But we signed Torrey Craig and Javon Carter. And while I understand why they help improve in those margins theoretically. Javon hasn't done that. Torrey Craig has. That's still not something that you can sit up there smugly and say, oh, wait till the fans see what we do in the offseason. If you're going to say something like that, be goddamn sure you're going to make a move, right? That's the way that I feel about it. So, it is what it is, man. MC Season in the building says, what's good, Brody? Hope everything is well with you today. I appreciate that. I'm mainly okay, brother. Mainly okay. Kenny Beecham said continuity should only be for teams that actually have a chance to win the chip, like Warriors or Nuggets. We are nowhere close to that. So, Warriors definitely aren't close to winning the chip either. So, if he said Warriors, he's tripping. But I like continuity to a degree, right? Because you don't want to just change. I get what the message in that, but every team has to have a form of continuity. Otherwise, you're not gaining ground, right? So even if we're saying that we're not winning, if we have pieces in Io and Kobe White that we know or we hope are going to be building blocks of us getting to being a winning team, you do want continuity with that. You do want continuity to a degree around them. You don't want to just be changing everything every single year. So The Magic is similar to the Bulls that they can beat weaker teams, but they also struggle against better teams. Hopefully, the Bulls can get this win tonight. Let's hope so, Immortal Beast. Let's hope so. I see you on your black and white shit first on the Bears video. Now here, well, I recorded in this for the Bull Central daily episode first. You know what? This gives me the feel, and this is going to be, I don't know if it's a deep cut, but this is good. This reminds, why does this feel like a Bulls NWO shirt? Like when I put this shirt on, I was like, why do I get the feeling? Like I can think because of like the detail in the shirt, like the gray things you can see in the white. It feels like an NWO shirt, but with a Bulls logo. Like this is how we're gonna roll into the Bulls Summerfest next year. All in this shirt is gonna be the NWO, the Bulls World Order. BWO does not sound good. That does there was Blue World Order anyway, but BWO sounds like a venereal disease. Like that doesn't sound good at all. Like that sounds like you got a leaky dick. If somebody said, hey, hop, join this BWO, it's like, whoa, hold on, wait a second, what we doing here? What? So hold on. So you gotta say the whole thing. It's like a Tribe Called Quest. You gotta say the whole thing. Bulls World Order. Because if you say BWO, I'm gonna think you got a leaky dick, and that go get that checked out. It's please. They're free clinics. Go get that checked out. All right, let's get back into the comments. We got Quentin from Let's Talk Bulls says, just love that you did your video today and still stood on your words from yesterday. Thank you. I always stand on business. Always stand on business. Man, you fans see Vooch not trying defensively, jogging back when we're on a fast break. I really pop a bottle of champagne when his ass no longer a Bull. That's funny. Well, you're gonna wait a long time for that bottle, my boy. What Kenny always swears, LOL, you got to watch more of his content. That's funny. Steely says, drip. What's going on, Steely? Glad to have you in the building, bro. Archangel says, sorry, but you're fine. Can't believe it's only been a week since the P-Will bone bubble news. That's funny you keep calling it that. Didn't you do some research about the acute bone edema lasting up to 2 years? Yes, that is something that can't. Now, the thing is bone edema can last up to 2 years. Acute bone edema isn't actually an injury. So I think that what that is that's the Bulls medical staff kind of saying that it's like a slight version of that. That's what I hope, at least, because bone edema can last up to 2 or 3 years. So the acute bone edema, I hope it means that it's minuscule, that it's not as major as that. He said, Warriors, you cannot read Mr. X. Oh, you're not talking to me. You're talking to Mr. X. That's funny. Well, Haize, you are a wrestling fan, so NWO mixed with Chicago Bulls. You already know. I think a lot of Bulls fans feel the continuity doesn't mean that we can't make any changes, but at this point, all we can do is, and I hate to say it, trust the process. Ooh, that's crazy. Trust the process. That's dangerous. I was watching the Mavs OKC game and heard something interesting from commentators. Jay Keat is second behind Billy Donovan in successful coaching challenges. I guess it's nice to know. Well, Billy Donovan doesn't challenge much, so if you're not going to challenge much, you better get them right when you do challenge, right? The Bulls doing something at the trade deadline would have made a move, and it wouldn't have been what the fans wanted either. So AK still would have been under fire by fans. Listen, Big Disciple, you're actually not wrong on that. I have been preparing people for that, more so with the Zach LaVine trade, because Bulls fans had this thought oh, well, if we're gonna trade with the Detroit Pistons, we better get Cade Cunningham back. And it's like, are you motherfuckers on cocaine? In what world did you think that the Bulls are going to get Cade Cunningham back in a Zach LaVine trade in 2024, maybe in 2022? Maybe that's crazy. That's crazy. That's peculiar. There's a lot of peculiar motherfuckers that be around the Chicago Bulls. None much, Brody. Ready to watch this game? Hopefully we come out with a dubski. That's funny. The Walton family says, hey, let's keep doing your thing, brother. I appreciate that. I'm trying my best, bro. I'm trying my best. Who will be the knockoff Steph Curry the most tonight, Javon Carter or Vooch? Knockoff Steph Curry? That's crazy. How do you feel about the fellas on Players' Choice panel saying that we need to completely blow it up? Listen, I haven't watched Players' Choice in like a week. Matter of fact, I would be on Players Choice today with Dub, Big Kev. We'll be doing a live call for the Bulls game over there. So if you guys want to check that out, go and join Playback, and then hop on Players Choice. Playback channel will be in that mug. Well, see y'all at the half. Got to go get the light skin gigolo duties. That's funny. That's hilarious. I didn't want K Cunningham, bro. Look. Shay, pick up your bottom lip when you use speech to text, brother. Pick up the bottom lip, bro. This is how I know. You know what? I was gonna make a joke. Pick up your bottom lip, my friend. Pick up your bottom lip. Enunciate. Cade Cunningham in Detroit trade, but I would have loved to see Isaiah Stewart or maybe Thompson. You're not going to get either one of those guys. Not going to get either one of those guys. I thought acute generally means it's worse unless it's acute. That's funny. Does acute mean worse? Hold on, wait a second. I hope not. Acute. Present or experience a severe or intense degree. Oh, fuck. Shit. Fuck, man. That's crazy. Laughing my ass off. Man, what are we doing? Who you got in top scoring today? I'm always going to bet on Kobe White. I'm just going to bet on Kobe White. I thought Carter's strength was his defense, and he gets too many minutes. Listen, his defense is supposed to be one of his calling cards, and yeah. Javon Carter can't guard a shit. Like, he can't guard anything. Like, it is what it. I almost made another joke that I'm trying to evolve as a person. I'm trying to evolve as a person. I'm gonna leave that alone. We're just gonna leave that there. I'll let y'all figure that out. Could CP will mimic what Kobe has done for next season after being extended for a steal, depending on how well he plays next year. I mean, yeah, it's always a possibility, right? Javon Carter can play defense. It's his airballing that kills him. Well, he can play defense. We haven't seen much of it. We just haven't seen much of it. So, listen, Javon Carter, if I'm not mistaken, his defensive rating is like a 118 this season. Oh, let me see. Let's see what Javon Carter's defensive rating. I was close. Javon Carter's defensive rating so far this year is 117.8. That's terrible. Who has the worst defensive rating? So just for reference, the worst defensive rating in the NBA this year is 122 by Alec Burks. Javon Carter has and DeMar DeRozan? Are you fucking kidding me? So Javon Carter and DeMar DeRozan are number 8 and number 10 for worst defensive ratings in the NBA for the season. That's crazy. That's wild. I'm appalled. That's what I am. I'm appalled. That's crazy. We got 2 players in the bottom 10 of defensive rating. You know what's crazy, though? No, Nikola Vucevic is not worse defensively. He's not. Nikola Vucevic is bad pick and roll. His on-ball defense is actually pretty good. I believe he still ranks in the top 12 of all centers of defensive rating. Let's see. Oh, whoa, that typo was crazy. For reference, Nikola Vucevic's defensive rating on the season is 112.7. You know what that is? That's right. That's 0.5 off being in the top 10 for centers defensively. Now, defensive rating isn't everything. I want to be clear on that. It's not everything. But let's just be clear on that. Like, it's not that bad. It's like, I get it that we see it and the pick and roll makes it look absolutely terrible, but Nikola Vucevic isn't on ball, which brings his defensive up a lot. It plays a part into that. Damn, you were not kidding when you said DeMar plays. Listen, I said it all the time. DeMar DeRozan, literally, and this isn't hyperbole, he is one of the worst defensive players in the history of the NBA. He just is. But he's so good in other things that he's been able to overcome. And he still has a positive net rating for most of his career because he's just been so efficient offensively. But DeMar DeRozan is absolutely god awful. Good evening, little bro. I know this is unpopular, but I looked at the 24-25, and with our young guys playing so much better, when Zoe and Zach come back, maybe we can see that type of team could be. Listen, Zoe comes back, it doesn't matter. Like, we got to stop talking about when Zoe comes back. When Zoe come back, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. That's actually not how defensive rating works, OTR. That's more defensive efficiency. Is that defensive rating is a lot more on ball. Now, defensive raptor, a lot of people don't even know what that stat is. Defensive raptor is the more just singular, just what you do when you're guarding a player. And I don't know what Nikola Vucevic's defensive raptor is off the top of my head. Let's see if I can find it. That's usually a hard stat. You can usually get those stats more after the season. What is the website that I use for that? Bucket List. That's what it is. Let's go see what his defensive raptor is real quick. Oh, they changed this. I haven't been on the site for a while since I got access to Hoops OMG. Let's see what his defensive raptor is. So Nikola Vucevic per defensive raptor is still top 12 in the NBA. So I'm not in the NBA for centers in the NBA, not god awful. No, he's not that in the NBA. So, acute means recent, chronic means long term. Okay, there you go. There you go. All right, cool. Hating on Lonzo's comeback would be, Lonzo ain't shit, ain't been shit. Being realistic, nope. Find me a player that's been out of the game of basketball for almost 3 years that comes back and is effective in year one. I'll wait. Go and find it. You find me an NBA player that has been gone from the game of basketball for that long, regardless of what the injury is, and that's come back and been effective. OTR says, so one of the sites that I use is Hoops OMG. You have to be a member of media to get access to that site. So I can't give you that one. There's another one, bucketlist.fans. That's a really good one to kind of get some nitty gritty as far as like your specific stats and like specific situations. So you can go and watch like a player, every possession of a player in some areas. But that one is you got to watch out for that one. You got to watch out for that one. No, I wasn't talking about you. He's talking about me with what? I got you. The hate on that. Yeah. No, we meatheads, Haize. Lonzo going to be the first. I mean, hey, if he is, if he's able to do it, shout out to Lonzo. If he's able to do it, shout out to Lonzo. I mean, no shade aside. It's not that I don't want him to be able to do it. I would love Lonzo to be able to be that player that can come back and just surprise a lot of people, have a great comeback, and people are just looking like, hey, did you see what Lonzo's doing? I would love for that to happen. I would have to see it first before I trust it. That's just my personal thing. But if he can do it, shout out to him for being able to do it, man. I would love nothing more to be sitting here, much like I said when I was like, well, Javon Carter's probably going to be the starting point guard. I would love nothing more than to come back in here and be like, hey, I'm an idiot, y'all. I'm an idiot. I would love nothing more than to be able to do that. So even Mike came back looking suspect. Oh yeah, it took Mike a little minute. So hey, shout out to Haize. He was trolling the shit out of the Grizzlies guard last time. LOL. That's man, listen, that hairline, bruh. That hairline was a motherfucker. Will Lonzo's comeback attempt prevent Acme from applying for the end of career exception? Yes. Yes, it would. So I mean, let's say this: if Lonzo, and I think this may be what the Bulls are going to try to do. Don't quote me on this, please. But if come training camp time, Lonzo is having difficulty ramping up again, do not be surprised if the Bulls go ahead and file for the career-ending injury exception, and maybe even leading up to that, depending on what they get. We'll see. His signature move is a pump fake and that's hilarious. Definitely not hating on Lonzo. I support any Chicago Bull, but he stayed hurt before he got to the Bulls. So for him to come back strong after that injury would be a miracle. I mean, the thing is, like, the injuries that he had prior to that are nothing compared to what this injury is. So let's hope so. Let's hope so. I mean, listen, like you said, I don't root against any Chicago Bull, right? I want to see them all come back. So Lonzo can come back because he can shoot and still pass, I'm sure. Well, that's the thing, though. It's how you create that separation. Just shoot. Anybody can shoot and pass, right? Technically, DeMar's always going to be able to shoot and pass, but we're already seeing his game decline because in the NBA, it's not just as simple as being able to shoot and pass. You have to create separation. Lonzo created that separation off step backs. You're not going to have a quick step back if that knee's weak. So I don't think that it's going to be simple. Now, it depends on the level that you expect him to be able to come back at. Much like Sean Livingston was able to come back and completely change this game, maybe Lonzo can be that. But let's be clear, Sean Livingston was never the player that he was prior to injury. So you got to look at that as well. Archangel with the fact says medical definition of acute means of recent onset, which is severe and intense and needs immediate care. These things can be recent but not acute. Chronic means reoccurring. Well, there you go with that one. Archangel with the nothing but facts in this mug. Nothing but facts. But all right, guys, I'm going to have to wrap up the pregame show a little early today because I do have to get ready to do playback for Player's Choice. So listen, the one thing that I will say, and I got to thank you guys for this. Thank you for putting me on the radar of much bigger platforms, right? Because I lay that out because of you guys. So like Player's Choice, people don't know, Player's Choice hit me up, right? They hit me up for a job. They listen, they rolled out the red carpet for you, boy. It was like, hey, we really want you. Let me stop. I'll tell you the story once the show starts. Check back in March. But, you know, it's been a blessing. This journey has been amazing. Bleacher Report, ESPN, doing some shit for NBC Sports. Now with Player's Choice, like the journey that this has been on. And keep in mind, like I had the name and the idea for this podcast for almost 3 years before I started the actual show. And I kept hesitating because I was like, nobody's going to want to fuck with me. I'm not a damn insider. I have no sources. And I started it. You guys have rolled with me since the beginning. I appreciate you guys. And make no mistake about it, I do not, the younger version of me, if I would have gotten the show when I was in my 20s, I would have been cocky as fuck about it. Me now being old and having this show, I realize it is because you guys. It's because of that. Like, it's one thing to be, there's a lot of talented people that do this that are sitting on streams talking to their goddamn selves, the same 5 people every single night. You guys make sure that's not the case, man. So I appreciate you guys so much. I appreciate a Bulls win tonight even more. So let's hope this Bulls team can go out and get this dub tonight. I'll be back for the halftime hangout. If you guys want to see us live call the show, make sure you guys go over on playback, sign up for an account there. It's free. And then go look up Player's Choice. We'll be in there starting at 5:45 Chicago time, 6:45 Eastern time. I love you guys. Go Bulls. See red, y'all. And I'll be back at halftime. Peace, y'all. Hold on. Wait a second. I'm going to read this from Spicy Butter. Real quick, little bro. The reason why I think Zoe will be good is he's not above the rim. His IQ player just to control the game. Yes, but you still that. So just to put that into perspective, Spicy Butter, the surgery that Lonzo had is typically a surgery that's for quality of life of older people so they can walk around. It's not meant for people to get back into high-level sports. So that's why he would be the first player to come back from it like that. So I agree with you, the IQ thing, but if it was like an ACL, something like that, I would completely agree with you. I would have no doubts. But because of the nature of what that surgery is, that's where my personal doubt comes in at. Personal doubt. So, but we'll see you guys, man. Love you guys. Go Bulls. See Red.